Thank you all for joining. My name is Addie, today's host of the Blockchain Hustler Show by Blockster.com. I'm excited to introduce Tommy LaRocca and the CEO of Humatech and Ruhul Ahmed, their CTO. Humatech is a blockchain-powered humanitarian ecosystem. It's focused on transparency, cross-border efficiency, and also on-chain impact tracking, which we'll dive into today. The team is preparing to launch on PancakeSwap at the end of the month and has already completed a 3,000 meal program. That's the case study that will be recorded on-chain. They're also preparing to send 30 laptop computers to an underprivileged school in Medellin, Colombia, and that will be documented on-chain as well. So we have a lot to get into today. Humatech was recently also the sponsor of the 15th annual Cars and Couture Fashion Gala in Tampa. So we'll be going into that today as well. And that was in support of Jacob's House for Autism. So let's kick it off with the Humatech vision just to get the high level. Let's throw it over to Tommy. What inspired the founding of Humatech and how has the company's initial vision evolved since that conception?
Oh, great to meet you, Addie. Sure, I'd love to answer that. Being an Italian American, I really grew up in New York. Our community was really built on empathy, right? But seeing how broken the charity system is that we are in today, we evolved from really just doing good to building a global infrastructure to stop what we basically have discovered of about 320 billion annual loss in the aid sector. So that's really what made us put this together into a global vision with the help of our CTO, Ruhul. We come together and built Humatech.
Awesome. Well, it's incredible work that you're doing, and it's true. It's a huge problem that needs solving, and blockchain is a great solution for that. So you talked about transforming humanitarian aid through technology. And so how do you personally define the success for that mission if we look 3 to 5 years into the future?
Sure. So I come from a business consultant. I'm a banker. I've been in the banking industry for 33 years. I'm going to have my 55th birthday here soon. So, I really...
Oh, happy birthday.
No, it's coming soon. Not there yet. But basically, even when blockchain was started and crypto, it's always intrigued me. And, there was regulatory issues and everything else. But now with the new administration, we really see, the green light. Also still being in banking, I carry my licenses. Everything is going towards blockchain, crypto tokenization. I wouldn't even say it's the future. It's here now, So where do we see ourselves in 3 to 5 years? I mean, we see ourselves as the global, philanthropy intersection, all using what we'll go into later is our Huma dashboard. We call it Huma Dash, It's a SaaS platform where donors are going to meet the NGOs. Of course, we have our crypto coin, Huma Coin, and a community, which we call Huma Club, which is also a public benefit corporation. And then we've added a boots on the ground initiative with our own NGO called Huma Aid. So putting all that together, we're going to have other NGOs be able to white label and really go to a glass box, from where basically they've been hiding in a black box. So many things of fire aid and US aid and a lot of even like I said, my age, it was back in Live Aid, and a lot of that fraud, waste, and abuse could be done from inefficiency, but we're bringing transparency and efficiency, to the global aid community, and a social platform will bring the community together.
Incredible. And I was actually doing some research. I saw that about 40% of the lost donated funds are due to inefficiency. So I'm glad that you brought up that point. That's a super important part that can be streamlined in the industry. So
Sure.
What would you say is the biggest opportunity for innovation within the innovation of the inefficiency?
Well, again, when I used to go into companies, we used software that, proprietary software we developed, and we were able to show the inefficiencies of a company, right? So nobody really has tackled that in the humanitarian aid space, even in the finance space that I'm in, or CRM, so on and so forth. The evolution of that 33 years using technology has been incredible from when I first started, right? So I could see it clearly how we could help this industry. We can't keep just doing documentaries on, after the fraud or the waste or abuse goes out. That take fire aid, for example, 100 million raised. A lot of people don't know where 90% of that money is went. Now there's new Netflix documentaries, podcasts that I listen to. So our ecosystem, you probably hear that across the podcast from us a lot. Our ecosystem is, we have the cryptocurrency that is, basically powers everything. Our dashboard, where everybody's going to get a free dashboard worldwide as a donor. That's going to connect to the NGOs, and basically everything will be on blockchain. And then, like I said, we want to not only solve the issue of the waste and abuse that way, but we need to bring a community together. Not right, not left, humanitarian in the center. Not religious, not political, and that's where our Yuma club comes together. So basically, everybody join the club. We really go a step further. I mean, really, we'd like to see. I mean, we can't solve this problem alone, right? So you would have the other NGOs, but really, what we call the Yuma Pledge is we want CEOs to take, a 1%, of either gross or pre-tax dollars and put it into humanitarian aid. There's so much to be solved, but if we all join together into an ecosystem and we like to lead the way at Humatech, I think we could accomplish that.
Incredible. And that 1% of pre-tax dollars from CEOs across any sector is also a tax write-off, right? That's also a benefit for those businesses.
Yes, and that is why we created Huma Aid, is for people who need the tax write-off. They could go through there. As you mentioned, a big person that I looked up to, especially being from New York and going into the city with my grandfather when I was little, is Andrew Carnegie, and he built libraries across the country, right, to educate people. So with our initiative, we're looking to basically provide laptops across the world if we can. So as other CEOs get involved, they could add towards that particular, educating people or helping the homeless or the poverty problem, the homeless problem. Everybody should be able to have, food, clean water, and a place, to stay, right? So that's what we're trying to solve, and we want everybody to be part of it.
Incredible. Well, I have one other question for you on that side, and then I want to hear from Ruhul as well. But I wanted to break down, and you kind of on a high level touched on the differences of HumaCoin, HumaDash, Huma Club, and Huma Aid. Break that down any more for how you want the viewers to understand and be able to approach for involvement, but also how are you going to be taking these and integrating them effectively without overcomplicating the user and NGO experience?
Sure, and it's there's a lot of things going on here, right? So we like to say HumaCoin is the fuel, right? It backs it. It's powered by it, the crypto, the transparency, the efficiency of crypto going across border. If somebody some people even, that we have involved here, call it a lemon, knows nothing about crypto. It's really a payment system, payment processor, right? So you're basically able to go cross border. We're faster, we're cheaper than any of the other cryptos in the past. And we've put that together with the engine, what we call our SaaS platform, our humanitarian dashboard, HumaDash, right? So that you're going to have like this Ferrari dashboard in front of you that Ruhul will go into further. That's going to connect the donor to the NGOs that have white labeled it, showing it transparent on the blockchain. So they're not going to have to really know too much about blockchain, so on and so forth. They're going to see the green light or a red light, they're on their dashboard and show where their donations go, so on and so forth. Then we have HumaAid. Again, we needed to start from a blockchain NGO, nonprofit, global from the start, right? So we're basically, when we incorporated, we got our approval last month. We have actually a big time philanthropist coming aboard. Years, decades, gives away millions a year, works with so many nonprofits, big time humanitarian. So we'll be able to hopefully announce that, before your next we do a next podcast with you, but very shortly. And we're going to be working with her, and that's going to cover so much on the Yuma Aid side. But the club is the community, right? We all need to come together. Humatech is to put the technology out there and the ecosystem out there, and we want everybody to plug into it in the community. So when you all work together, because it's not just about the tools for humanity, for humanitarian aid, it's humanity in general. And the more that we all come together and work together, we'll be able to accomplish great strides.
Incredible, incredible. Well, I'm very excited to hear who you're going to be bringing on the Huma Aid
Sure.
side. I know you guys are making big strides in the industry already, and it's definitely very needed. So incredible. Thank you for breaking it down. I'd love to hear a little bit from Ruhul as well. I know you're on the technological side, so diving into that, your technology runs on a multi-chain infrastructure like Binance Smart Coin and Polygon ZK EVM. What drives those technical decisions, and how do they impact the performance and cost?
A very good question there. It's all about safety, security, anti-fraud, and the banking, everyday banking regulations and practices such as compliance, right? The KYC, know your customer, AML, and then there's the modern day technology, which is far evolved beyond that too. And how do we integrate that into if there is a thing called a foolproof system to prevent corruption and loss of funds, misuse of funds, tracking and traceability, accountability. We've had to put together a pretty comprehensive, multi-layered, multifaceted ecosystem around the coin itself, which is called HumaCoin, which is a component of our entire ecosystem. Um, Choosing the different tools to bridge the gap and also have it locked into where if one layer has an issue, it locks up the other layers so you can't get past it. You can't peel the onion. You can't get to the core. So with our research and the development that we put into make the decisions, a lot of thought and time was put into this. A lot of going back to the drawing board to make sure this thing is going to definitely be the actual say all be all for transparency and ledgers on blockchain being the ultimate humanitarian coin. Again, our company is not just about a coin, but open to all types of different donations, whether it's HumaCoin, where coin and or currency donation, token or asset agnostic. So regardless of what it is you're donating, whether it's fiat, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, our coin has a differentiator versus the others, but we're open and welcome to all. We picked Binance Smart Chain as the primary network because of the high throughput and for low fees. Polygon ZKEVM is the secondary network of enhanced scalability and security. And to bridge the gap for all, because we're universal, we want everyone to use our HEMA dashboard. We chose Chainlink as part of the planned integration for the CCIP for cross-chain interoperability. That's where that comes in. So when you have those three layers together, it really helps understand not only the tokenomics, but also how we're able to unify everything all in one place on a dashboard.
Interoperability is so important. I'm glad to hear you speak on that. It's very needed in this ecosystem, especially when you have all different types of coins and currencies and all kinds of things floating around. So that's wonderful to hear.
Thank you.
Can you give a specific example? I'm curious on the AI side. Can you give an example of where AI flagged a risk or maybe an inefficiency that traditional systems would have missed?
Sure. As a matter of fact, I was going to ask you because, like you mentioned a few minutes ago, there's so many facets to this. How do you paint the picture for
Mm-hmm.
people to understand? I can kind of share a screen to show you and talk through it real quick to make it make
Awesome.
sense. Yeah, that'll go ahead and help the
Great.
conversation and paint the picture. So give me 1 second here, and I'll go ahead and share. And um, give me 1 sec. There we go. All right. Let me know when you all can see my screen, and we can kind of just dive in here.
So
All right. So
It's
you
there.
see so you see the Humatech, which is our holdings company, ecosystem slide, correct? So let's talk
Yes.
through this a little bit in terms of the integrated architecture for verifiable impact. It's a multifaceted ecosystem with four different components. So to simply put it, we're pioneering technology as a company whose mission and dedication is to transforming global aid for delivered the delivery the deliverables in an efficient manner on blockchain with AI, with a SaaS software as a service solution to enhance the transparency, efficiency, and ease of use for access and accessibility. How do we do that? Well, a few components. The core products, if you will, that we built, HemaCoin being one, is a secure digital token that powers the ecosystem. Again, that's one of many others. We then have HumaDash, the SaaS platform, which is the real-time dashboard that tracks and keeps everything in compliance. So I'm going to pause here for a second and get into how we harness blockchain and AI with the anti-fraud mechanisms that are integrated and built into the system. The dashboard and any other coin that goes on our system has different types of anti-fraud mechanisms and multi-signature wallet systems built into it that are integrated into the entire ecosystem to prevent and address that problem. Corruption, leakage, loss of funds, where did the money go? Donors sign a blank check and they don't know what happened. They just go home hoping and wishing upon a star that they did good in the world. In reality, sadly, here's the problem. The problem is it's a black box, and we want to convert that to a glass box. If 800 billion gets donated a year, and 50 billion of that market is donated in crypto, and there's a 40% loss regardless, that's a problem. So whether it's an asset, say someone donated a building, that's an asset with monetary value, and they want to retrofit it and do construction to make it a school. How do you know that ever got done somewhere on the other side of the world? Well, our dashboard can show you that progress and how it's being built out. The old way, as you can see, 40% vanishes, takes time, 5 days plus, maybe in some cases. Transparency, there is none. Here you go with the blind faith. You're hoping and wishing upon a star, making a prayer it went through. So we're gonna fix that plumbing here. Less than 1% fees, direct peer-to-peer sharing, cross-border, international. 3 seconds, instantaneous blockchain ledger is recorded. It's immutable, irrefutable. 100% verified, like I mentioned, and real-time tracking. Don't just trust, which is the old way. Verify. A lot of donors from our research have said this many, many times. Had I have had the ability to see where the money is going to actually make an impact and fulfill the cause, I would donate more. Well, we solved that problem. Um, so we spoke about the coin as a utility, the dashboard as our product, open for all NGOs. We're aiming for the UN, NATO, UNICEF, Red Cross, a lot of these, and there's charities all around the world, fundraisers all around the world. The world is a huge place. All these entities, they're going to want to need to get visibility, traceability, and accountability for their own internal operations, their own staff, and the outcome and results. Eventually, this problem is going to have a solution. We are that solution that provides it for everyone in the world. The Huma Aid Foundation, as our CEO Tommy mentioned, it's all his vision. We put it together as a team to make this a solid, foolproof ecosystem. Is going to actually host and have a lot of the Huma coin that we minted ourselves. We're putting our money where our mouth is. We are allocating 20% of the 2 million already minted, available today right now for purchase. Our ticker symbol is $ HUMC. We're going to be on Pancake Swap coming up in March here shortly soon, in less than 2 weeks. So we're very excited. A few other pads in the next coming months as well, like Trust Pad, BSC Pad, and Coin Store as well. Binance, of course, is going to be the primary one, and then we're gonna pivot to Coinbase and the rest of them. So the Huma Aid Foundation is getting 20% of the 2 billion already minted. That's 400 million we're going to disperse over the course of 40 years. We're not just building the solution for the world, we also want to make an impactful legacy that lives on. Then we have our Huma Club community. How is that part of the ecosystem? That's going to be something that's out of this world. It's never been done before. If you think about it today, we're on our phone scrolling through all these different apps. We all do it, right? It's just part of second nature now. What's going on in the world? You got TikTok, Instagram, this, that, the other. Well, where is there a clean, meaningful community where there's an impactful place to be, where it's worth spending your time of caring and giving and making a difference in the world? Huma Club, which is our public benefit corporation, is going to connect donors, the general public, and NGOs and projects all under one umbrella. It's like LinkedIn met Facebook and had a baby. That's how I want to kind of put it, depict the picture. The cleanest profile, if there is a word for that, but one thing that comes close is for people that are career focused and want to do business is LinkedIn. But other than that, is there really a clean social networking platform that has a meaningful, clean atmosphere and environment for people of all ages? Of course, we're going to make it kid friendly. So we're going to eventually get a lot of subscribers, and that's going to be a whole nother realm. That's part of the ecosystem that ties it all in together is the Huma Club, which is going to be powered by our Huma dashboard. That's the engine. So the analytics and view can all be seen here. People are going to like, comment, post, share of what's happening with the funds and this project and the use case. So the whole world now gets involved in one community, one platform, unified, to see the difference being made.
Incredible. Thank you so much for breaking it down. That was incredibly comprehensive, and now I think our viewers know exactly where they might want to approach Humatech and fit right into the whole narrative.
Yeah. And right here, as you can see, we are allocating 20% over 40 years in our own reserve on Huma Aid, our nonprofit. Our ISO now is at 4 cents. The allocations are here, and thank you.
Incredible. Let's talk a little bit more about the tokenomics. I'm curious to hear on that side. You mentioned it briefly, but how do you balance the role of being an impact infrastructure project versus how people view crypto being an investment vehicle? How do you balance that? And especially in today's world where while crypto is becoming more widely accepted, there's still a lot of skepticism around the topic.
Yeah, well, I'll take that question. So basically, with like Ruhul just dove into, we put 20% towards the humanitarian aid side ourselves, right? We wanted to have crypto with a cause. So, whatever that, again, it's a dual impact model, right? So you can make money with the crypto, but it's also helping people. So there's a huge community behind us, and more people are tapping in. And as I said, the one of the people that we're bringing on into the HumaAid side of our company, is looking to do a lot of donations through us and basically bring that blockchain and crypto across border. She's new to the crypto space, but people are forward thinkers, right? And that's where everything is going towards blockchain and crypto tokenizing for quicker, easier transactions. The blockchain is really the automated trust in the transactions, right? So working together across border, really with us, with the tokenomics we've minted 2 billion. There'll be no more minted. We have them set up in trust, so probably about 600 million will go out in the next year or so, to keep the volatility, strong. And then, like I said, you could use your own math skills to realize 10 million will go onto the market each and every year towards humanitarian aid. So that's all part of our tokenomics to keep it nice and stable. Again, Ruhul went into the security. It's a better built Bitcoin. We really put a lot of thought, time, effort. Our development team has built, big CRMs and healthcare software and companies that have sold for lots of money. So it's not that we threw it together on a computer. This was, we have a third partner who's also in the wealth management tax advisory industry. So he had a lot of input as well. So when we came together on this, we really looked at the tokenomics of many and where this coin could go. Of course, crypto is volatile. We all know that. Every crypto, but probably more than half, I can't even tell you what they do or what the reason is for them, right? So, I understand stable coins, but we like the volatility for our investors. Again, our private investors started at 2 cents. We're now going to 4 cents on market, and where that could go. I mean, the tokenomics shows it could go into a multi-dollar to a couple $100 type of coin, right? Only time will tell, only our community when we build it. But again, we do have the dashboard behind it, the social platform, our club, and then also our HumaAid, which is on 100% on blockchain. So hopefully that answers your question. If you have any others, I'd be happy to expand upon that.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense. I like that you have in your presentation that you have a 40-year vision. That's incredibly
Correct.
unique in crypto companies. So that's a green flag, just taking a look at that. And then you have your AI flagging system, you have your SaaS platform. So all of those things go into influencing the donor trust. So definitely very impressive. And I want to hear a little more on the journey of getting here. I had one specific question around you pursuing the SEC Regulation D compliance and other standards that I'm sure you pursued. What were your biggest hurdles in creating a compliant and humanitarian focused ecosystem?
So I can kind of chime in on that one. The hurdle with SEC Reg D, not only SEC Reg D compliance, but we also want to be Reg S. But at this time, we are global. We're international investors all around the world to attract them. So there's no limitation or anything there. The biggest hurdle I would say is that most crypto projects, they want to move fast, and that breaks things, right? You can't really do that with humanitarian aid, and that's something we don't want to do. We want to be like the clean platform. We want to run a clean business, clean operation. So we took the hard road, the long road for that one. We registered in Florida, and Delaware Corporation is where we're registered as, securing our 501c3 status, and then our Reg D as well. That filing is taking place, so we can legally onboard corporate partners, NGOs, charities of all different types and sorts, who wouldn't touch unregulated coins such as meme coins. That's not what we are. We're a real world asset, an RWA. We are a utility. So hope that answers the question.
Absolutely. Proof of utility. Love to hear
Yeah.
it. You mentioned also about NGO adoption, and I know you have about 50 plus NGO partners. What has been the largest challenges in getting organizations to adopt a cutting edge blockchain driven transparency tool?
The challenge word, like you kind of said it in the question, is blockchain, right? But even then, nowadays, most folks, a lot of things are being tokenized and put on blockchain. The whole real estate market eventually seemingly is going on blockchain as well. People are tokenizing artwork. A lot of banks are even heading in the direction on blockchain is more secure. So NGOs, they may be a little skeptical about it or scared rather. We solved this by selling them the Huma Dash, and I can go ahead and show you how that all ties in and makes it make sense to where they're comfortable. As a matter of fact, it excites them and they're happy. So I'll go ahead and kind of show you here. Let me know when you can see my screen. There we are. So the Hema Dash is really the engine of real-time transparency. When they see this thing, which is huge, right? It's the GoFundMe on steroids. And HemaCoin and HemaAid and Humatech, essentially, we are the visa for aid around the world. It's trusted everywhere, right? Um, so you can think of it that way. The dashboard shows a link to the blockchain itself to prove where the funds go from point A to point B. Verifiable fund tracking, a live global map showing donations, active projects, beneficiaries in real time. It replaces the vague annual reports, and we give you granular, real time live data. That's not been done. You can't. You want to see instantly what's going on, like you do on the stock market. I want to see what's happening live, second by second, in real time. Nowadays, you got to wait like 12 to 18 months plus before you get those annual reports. Those days got to go. That's where the problem lies there, and which we're going to solve. So the AI-driven fraud detection has the advanced analytic tools that scans patterns to identify and prevent misuse of funds, which is a key selling point for these folks, right? The dashboard itself is going to come with annual subscriptions. For the small businesses or mid-market size tiers, there's 12 month to month even. But the enterprise ones, which are huge, they're going to be annual contracts. So we're a technology company for humanitarian aid. We not only built the cryptocurrency, we built the ultimate solution. How do you see what's happening by zooming in on a map to this one part of the world? What's going on there? Oh, wow, that interests me. Or maybe it doesn't, or maybe you're a part of it. You can see the milestones, the deliverables, the funds raised, and the actual outcome of it. We have automated compliance, like I mentioned earlier as well, the tiers we mentioned here. But that's how the NGOs will definitely get the traction they need, is when you offer them something tangible, visible, where they can click around and play with and see the proof on blockchain.
Incredible. So this is the ultimate visual of the proof of impact that we talked about
Yeah.
before, and how they can see not only human impact but also long-term well-being with tracking projects over time. And it's not just transactional data like most blockchain and crypto projects. So very impressive. Very impressive.
Thank you, thank you. And then, how do you get to the last mile, right? So Huma Club and Huma Aid, which go hand in hand together in tandem, as I mentioned, are public benefit corp, and then Huma Aid are 501c3. These two back each other. They work together, right? Symbiotically. So the Huma Club, it connects the donors directly with vetted humanitarian. We have to make sure those that we are doing business with, or partnering or allowing on our platform, have been vetted, thorough due diligence. Kind of like, if you were to move to a different zip code today, LinkedIn's going to lock you out. You can't get in there. It's not going to happen. You got to wait 2 weeks or so. A lot of that happens because they tightened up the ropes a little bit, right? Because there was a lot of bots or fake profiles and what have you. Imagine the possibilities of what could happen in this kind of situation. I mean, it could be a catastrophe. So we're getting ahead of that curve. We're not going to let that happen here. It's going to be solid. So we're going to verify them. Communities are going to foster engagement and participate. Participation is going to be governed. The management of the 400 million coin that we have is going to be in the reserve, fully monitored and scaled out accordingly with these vetted projects. The Huma Aid Foundation, our nonprofit 501c3, which we have, and that's a blessing as well. Those are hard to get and they take a lot of time, a long time, but we got us pretty
Congratulations.
quick. Thank you. We got us pretty quick in the quick turnaround time because they saw the value in the project and who and what we are. That's gotta be it. Um, and that typically takes 6 to 8 months, but we got us pretty quick. So we focus on the aid delivery by going the last mile, by going to the last mile. Who understands there's populations around the world that don't have banks, but they have smartphones. So if you have a phone, you don't necessarily need a bank to receive funds, put them to use, be on blockchain, and make an impact. All you need is a signal. In a lot of places that don't have internet, that's fine. There's Starlink. We're looking into that potentially as well to give those out to communities so they can get access to connectivity to run their operations or charity or their project. We're going to utilize mobile wallet infrastructure to bridge the last mile. The flagship initiatives are here, where Huma 8 distributes our own Huma food boxes or medical supplies boxes in times of crisis. So there's a tsunami, a hurricane, earthquake, and then, of course, solving the issue of global hunger and poverty. It all ties it together. Thank you.
Incredible. Very insightful, and thank you so much for sharing the visuals on how trustworthy Humatech is and all the effort that you've put in to make it what it is today. We've talked about a lot in this interview so far, so I want to break down the milestones of your 5-year roadmap. Looking ahead, what are some of those major benchmarks that you're prioritizing, whether it's ecosystem growth or product innovation or global partnerships?
Well, I would say all three, right? I mean, we've gone pretty much thorough into it, and thank you, Ruhul, for really deep diving on this podcast with our ecosystem vision. But that's a lot to accomplish with what we just went through in the next even 3 to 5 years. It comes up to you so quickly, right? But we are a technology company. I mean, obviously, when we show the vision, and we're bankers as well, so. We have some pretty important people that we've introduced this to. Important's a way of having their own family offices, so on and so forth, and they've gotten excited about it, and so they're looking to us to create some even other ventures, right, within our chain. So we have can't go too far into it, but something in the veterans community that we're talking about. So yes, we're looking to grow our technology company, of course. Maybe there's an opportunity that goes public or something like that. But everybody's able to really come together with the coin. That's the great thing. It's dual impact. It's almost like a private equity investment, right? You could get in now at such a low starting point and see where it goes. When you invest in private equity, which I have some knowledge of putting things like that together, and it's a 5-7 years. Even real estate, is a long-term thing. So on a digital asset, really no difference. There's traders and there's people who want to believe in the actual ecosystem or the whole project, and it's something to hold on to. But we're looking to be here in 5 years. That's the major thing, right? We don't put together this type of effort, humanitarian aid. People don't lend their names to it unless if they believe that this is a true company going somewhere, and that is what we're all about. It's also towards the humanitarian aid sector that, quite frankly, is overlooked a lot in the way of technology, obviously. But we're trying to just clean up the transparency of it, right? Transparency really is the new luxury. We're about to even go to do the Oscars next month, which we didn't really mention, to one of those luxury lounges where everybody's giving away sunglasses and skin creams and the newest vodka and this, that, and the other thing. And we're giving away our collective coin that we actually did for the Tampa Bay Business and Wealth magazine. We were the main sponsor for their Philanthropist of the Year award, so we gave out all the awards. Nice to see so many people in philanthropy, and we've created a lot of partnerships or working on partnerships through that. So that's why we sponsor a lot of events. Is we're meeting other humanitarians, right? Other people that care, other philanthropists. Even the Cars and Couture, we met a doctor who does a lot of hepatitis C, HIV screenings, testing for free. We had a meeting with him, and that's going to be a partnership that we're working on in the future. So just more and more partnerships, bringing people together. Even other companies, I had a solar company want to put solar systems on some people coming out of poverty onto their houses. So when you share it, even as guys, a lot of times we don't share our stories. Everybody has, something that they were trying to do on humanitarian aid, and I just think that's going to grow with our social media platform as we put that together. When you have a donor platform, people don't realize the power of that. Instead of just donating when you see a commercial or when you go to the mall. I mean, you're going to have your own donor dashboard connecting projects on a global scale, right? So just in part, we have the coin, as I said, the donor dashboard, which is the Humatech, the Huma Club, and that's a PBC, right? So we wanted to actually register our company as a public benefit corporation that has the ethos of doing good. A lot of people who are already corporated, they get a B certification. There's certain qualifications you got to meet for that. But that's where the world is going. I think most people, especially under 50, the younger demographic, really wants to work with companies that not only have a responsibility to their shareholders or to make a profit, but to a community in general, right? The global community. What are they doing for the environment, or what are they doing for humanity in general? And that's who we all want to come together with. And even if we do a podcast, so on and so forth, that's why I like stressing it, even on other podcasts, is we have to come together not only with humanitarian aid, but humanity in general.
Well said. That is the perfect conclusion. Thank you so much for that, Tommy. And just to wrap up today, my one last question for you is, what's the one actionable way that NGOs, donors, or individuals can start engaging with the Humatech ecosystem?
Absolutely.
Well, go ahead if you want to answer, Ruhul. Go ahead.
Sure, no problem. So they can reach us directly at info@humatech. That's HumaTek.io. That's our email. Our website is, of course, www.humatech.io. That's HumaTek.io. All of our socials are there. We have podcasts as well, Spotify. We have a YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, and there's going to be more content coming out. Again, as Tommy mentioned, our CEO, where we've accomplished a lot. We're ready to have the world see us for who and what we are and what we're doing. And it's really an honor, a blessing, really. It's a calling. I mean, he got the honorary invite to attend the 98th Academy Awards Oscars event coming up next month here shortly. And we're amped up and ready to go and meet with the right people, get our name and word out there. And some of the biggest philanthropists are all in Hollywood. And we're going to be able to get in front of the right folks, do photo ops, gift them, build those relationships, and empower them to also use their platform and ours to join forces to spread the word on a global scale. And just as I'm passing it back, I just want to kind of let's see here. There we go. So I just want to kind of mention my last talk here. If you can see my screen, technology can go so far, do so much. In the end, the human element is something that is a coefficient that can't be taken out, right? That's irreplaceable. And we tend to forget that because we all get consumed by technology all around us with just about everything we do. What is not? But whether it's your home security system or cameras or getting in your car or what have you, even shopping. So technology can leverage that to show us where the money goes, but it can't replace the human element. It's very well said by a huge philanthropist making a change in the world for children and human trafficking and such. Natasha Nemento. Kids need a hug, not handcuffs. The founder of Redefining Refuge. So Humatech, we provide the tools and the resources to reach the destination, to make that impact without the opacity or the waste. That's a huge problem because every dollar, every effort and attempt to help someone counts. And we make that impact with our ecosystem. We empower organizations on the ground so they can focus on what matters the most is delivering that care and that aid. Thank you.
Could not have said it better. This has been an incredibly inspiring conversation. Really appreciate you taking the time, Ruhul and Tommy, to go into such detail and depth. Thank you for being a part of the Blockchain Hustler Show by Blockster.com. And if you're watching this live stream, make sure to go to humatech.io to get involved today. We'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Thank
Addie.
you.
Okay, thank you.